Hello, Meg here from I Teach Stamping. Welcome to today's video tutorial. Today I'm actually going to be making a card for somebody that I met on a plane. So Josh, this card is for you. I was trying to explain what I do to this gentleman that I got to visit with for over 2.5 hours last night. We had the best conversation. I loved every second of it. And so I figured it was just easier to make a video to show you what I do, Josh, rather than try to explain it. So we're going to start with some dry embossing, and I'm going to be making the fringe for a golf course because you golf, so go with me. I've never made a golf card before, so we'll see how this turns out. And we're going to be starting with the square lattice embossing folder. Put this on the Big Shot and zip it on through. So this is going to give us the texture for the fringe on the course. Okay, so we've got that. And this is just Gumball green cardstock. It is 5 1/4 by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to move the Big Shot out of the way and we're going to score our cardstock. So the base for our card is going to be 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to use the Simply Scored, and boom, that is done. Now we can move this out of the way and we are ready to do some punching. Okay, Josh, so punching is not like beating the snot out of somebody. These are our punches, kind of like, they're just paper punches. So I'm going to be using the Pennant Builder Punch with some real red cardstock and punch that out. Next, we're going to turn to the large oval punch and a piece of Certainly Celery cardstock and punch that out. Then we're going to grab 2 different circle punches. I've got the one from the Itty Bitty Shapes punch pack as well as a 1/8 inch circle punch. Now I've got some black cardstock. So the first thing I want to do is punch out just one plain basic black circle with that one. Then we're going to take this little 1/8 inch one. I'm going to punch 2 holes not too close together. And then we're going to take that circle one back over it. And that is going to give you that right there. Now we're going to use this same Itty Bitty Shapes circle with a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And now we need to make some clouds. So I'm going to be using the Cupcake Builder Punch along with some more Whisper White cardstock. So we're actually using the frosting from the cupcake to make our clouds and to make a mess. Get all those extra pieces out of the way. And we've got that. Okay, I think we're done with punching. We might not be, but I think we are. So let's start building the front of our card. So I've got my Whisper White, and on top of that is going to go a piece of basic black that's going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And on top of that is going to go a piece of Pool Party that's going to be 3 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So that's going to be our sky. So I'm just using that basic black to kind of ground the color, and it's going to make this blue really pop off, as well as the Gumball green that we dry embossed for the fringe. I'm just going to drop that in place down here at the bottom. Now there's going to be 2 other pieces of cardstock that you're going to want. You're going to want a teeny tiny strip of soft suede, and then you're going to want about a 3/4 inch by 1/8 inch strip of basic black. Now grab your liquid glue. I highly recommend liquid glue for this part. And I was having a hard time with creating a number to put on the flag. I have dies for it with the Big Shot, but they were all too big. So I figured out real quick how easy it would be to make 18. So I took this, and that is going to be my 1. Now I'm just going to use these little circles here to make my 8. So a little bit of liquid glue there. And a little bit over here. So we're going to let that get good and dry. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and take care of this basic black little guy. And let's drop him onto the putting green. And then this little soft suede piece is going to go ahead and get some liquid glue and get ready to go on the front of the card. Alright, so I'm just going to use my snail adhesive here. Put that in place. Oop, I flipped that over, but it's still good and sticky. And boom. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put our clouds in place. And then before we put our golf ball in place, we're going to decorate it up just a bit. Just a bit. So the initial plan was to use the Big Shot with Perfect Polka Dots embossing folder, which would have been polka dots, but those polka dots were too far apart. So all I'm going to use is my paper piercing mat and the stylus from my Simply Scored tool. And I'm just going to press down little circles to make the dimples for the golf ball. So you'll barely be able to see it, but in person, you really can. So that's going to go onto our card, but I don't just want it sitting out there. So grab your white gel pen, and let's have this going into the hole. So I'm just going to start, and I'm trying to make this as dark as possible. There we go. Bring it in all the way to where our golf ball is. Okay, so I'm going to use a mini glue dot with our golf ball because it's just going to be easy to do. Just kiss that on there and then pull it off. Bing! Okay, now behind this I want that 18 to stand up really big. So I'm going to use a dimensional and just put that on the back. Peel that off. And ta-da. So there is our flag and our golf ball flying through the air. Boom! Okay, so now let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment on the inside of the card. Alright, Josh, so now we're ready to stamp. So the inside of your card is going to say thanks a million, and I'm going to teach you a fun little trick. I don't want you laying awake at night wondering how in the world I stamped this perfectly straight and perfectly in the center of my card. So I'm going to teach you this, just like I said, so you're not worried about it late at night. So I've got my imaging sheet. And I'm just going to center it onto a piece of Whisper White cardstock that's going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm going to be using my Stamp-A-Majig. Put that into the corner of my vellum cardstock, move this out of the way, and ink up my stamp. So I'm using Gumball green ink with the Thanks a Million, and this is from the Wordplay stamp set. Put it into the T, stamp straight up and down, and hold it for about 2 seconds. And ta-da! Alright, we're going to close up the ink pad, move it out of the way. And now let's bring in some more Gumball green cardstock. So I've got a piece that's going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Those are going to layer on like so. So there we have that. We can drop it into the inside of our card, just like so, and then our card is complete. So, thanks a million, Josh. I loved our conversation last night. I can't wait to talk to you again, and I hope you enjoy your fun little golf card where I show you what I actually do. To learn more about rubber stamping for card making and scrapbooking, be sure to visit www.iteachstamping.com, and have a great day.